Hey everyone, Romel here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Logitech G305. This is a wireless gaming mouse by Logitech, and it's more budget friendly than their other options out there. I decided to get this mouse because I wanted to see what it would be like to play with a fully wireless mouse again. The last wireless mouse that I used was the Logitech G703, and between then and now, all I've been using have been lightweight mice with pretty good cables, so it feels like it's wireless or the cables don't really get in the way. But I really wanted to see what it would be like to go fully wireless and how much of a difference that would make. I also use this as a stepping stone to see if I did like wireless, I would consider getting the G Pro or the G Pro X and seeing what kind of difference that makes as well. And to my surprise, there are a few simple mods you can do to get the weight of this mouse down. I'll be going over that later on this video, so stick around if you want to see that. You can find this mouse on Amazon for $60 Canadian for the white or the black version, and for the new colorways, you can get them for about $70 Canadian. Like always, I'll have affiliate links in the description below. I really do appreciate when you guys use that, as it does support the channel. Let's get to the unboxing. Inside the box, you have the mouse, a AA battery from Duracell, a USB cable, and the dongle. The mouse feels really solid in my hands, and I haven't found any issues with the build quality of the mouse. One thing that I do really like about this mouse as well is that in the battery compartment there is a space for you to put the dongle in. So if you're switching between mice often or traveling with the mouse, it's easy to keep track of where that dongle is unless you misplace it, which I have. And yeah, it's not fun to look for this little thing, but I try to always remember to put it inside now so I don't lose this. This is an ambidextrous shaped gaming mouse, and it measures in at approximately 116 millimeters long, 62 millimeters wide, and the height is about 37 millimeters. Again, my hands do measure in about 18.5 by 9 centimeters, and I'm able to use this mouse in a grip style that I'm really comfortable with, which is that claw fingertip grip. I don't really palm it, as it's slightly too small to find a comfortable palm grip, but I do like using that claw fingertip grip with the G305. Out of the box, the weight is about 97.6 grams, which is definitely on the heavier side for a small mouse. This is with a alkaline AA battery. The weight itself wasn't a big con, but rather the weight distribution. Since the AA battery was closer to the back of the mouse, this made it feel like the weight wasn't balanced and was more towards the end of the mouse. You can see me trying to hold it pretty neutral, but it just dips to the back. There are a couple mods that you can do to cut the weight down. The biggest improvement I found is by using a AAA battery instead of a AA. This cuts down the weight quite a bit, and you're looking at about 85.5 grams with a alkaline battery and 82.2 grams with a lithium ion. This is really easy to do, and you can buy a plastic converter. If you don't have that and you don't want to purchase one, since they come in packs, you can just use a tiny piece of foil that you roll into a ball and put inside the mouse. If you want to cut the weight down even more, you can just take off the battery cover completely. This gets the mouse down to about 74.3 grams, but it may not be the most comfortable when you use a palm grip. I have seen as well is to get a 3D printed honeycomb cover that reduces the weight a little bit. One thing that is a big improvement if you do use a AAA battery is that the weight distribution feels a little bit better. It still feels more towards the back. It doesn't feel as drastic as using a AA battery. So if you're looking at getting this mouse and want it to feel a lot better and lighter, I would highly recommend using the AAA battery. Now let's talk about the biggest selling point of this mouse for me, which is the wireless. I've been okay using a wired mouse, especially when I use a mouse bungee. The cable doesn't really get in the way, and like I said earlier, a lot of these mice do feel pretty wireless, especially with how they make the cables now with the paracord, and it's super lightweight and the flex is great. But there are still times where I don't have enough slack on the cable, or the cable gets caught on something or stuff like that, where I'm not really expecting it to get caught, but it gets caught and it throws me off guard. And using a wireless mouse completely eliminates that. It's hard to really describe, especially if you're used to using a wired mouse, but it feels more free. You're not really constrained to that one area where your mouse cable can pull to or pull towards. You can kind of readjust without having to deal with that cable getting in the way when you lift up and then change your position slightly, and then now you're stuck in a position where the cable might get caught on something. That does happen to me from time to time, mostly because I do use a pretty low sensitivity, so I do need to move my arm quite a bit, and I do adjustments mid-game and while I'm playing. So yeah, might not be a problem for you, but when I use a wireless mouse, it eliminates all of that, and that's one less thing I have to think about or worry about. The wireless does feel as good as a wired mouse in terms of latency, but the technology has gone so far that you don't really have to think about all of that when you're using a wireless mouse. I do have to make sure that my other wireless mouse, the MX Master, isn't in the way. I did find that there has been some interference every now and then when I have that mouse in between like my G305 and my computer. So I just remember to turn off the MX Master and put it away, just so it doesn't cause any interference. One big drawback with a wireless mouse is the battery. You never want your battery to die mid-game, because you probably have to plug in a cable to start charging, or you gotta use the cable to charge and play at the same time. But that's one of the good things about the G305, since it does use a AA or AAA battery. You can just pop that off when you die and pop a new one in, and then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about plugging in a cable or charging it, and it does last a really long time. The battery life is definitely something that you don't have to worry about, and yeah, I haven't really benchmarked this, but it's lasted me a really long time without having to change my battery. But I do try to turn off my mouse when I'm not using it, just to save that extra bit. The switches in the Logitech G305 are on-on switches, and here's what they sound like. There are 6 buttons: the mouse 1, mouse 2, mouse 3, the side buttons, and the DPI button. The scroll wheel is good, have no issues with it, and I can bunny hop just fine. This uses Logitech's Hero sensor with a max DPI of 12,000, and I play with an 800 DPI. Again, I haven't had any issues with the sensor, and it feels as good as any of the other sensors I've used, and here are some of the clips to prove it. To wrap this up, if you guys are looking for a wireless gaming mouse, the Logitech G305 is definitely a really good option, especially because of the mods that you can do to really bring down the weight and change the feel of this mouse. It's not necessarily gonna break the bank. The sensor feels really good, and I do like the shape in my hands, and haven't had any issues with this mouse at all, and I feel like for that $60 it's a really good deal. The next step would be the G Pro Wireless, which you can get on sale for about $130 Canadian, and then you also have the Super Light that's about $200 retail, and I can't tell you if that jump is worth it, but I will be testing the G Pro Wireless next, and will give you my thoughts on that. And yeah, If you guys have noticed, this is kind of a new space. My wife and I have finally moved and I've got my setup all done. I will be doing a video later about the progress and reviews on all the new stuff that I have, like the standing desk. I got a new rig and new monitors. So yeah, stay tuned for that. If you guys want to see all the other tech around the house, I'll be doing a video on that as well. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content. I am trying to stream on Twitch, or I will be trying to stream on Twitch again. Now that we're all settled in. I haven't been really posting videos or streaming, but I will be starting to maybe stream once or twice a week again and trying to ramp that up a little bit more. I'll be focusing on keyboards, mice, and probably do a little bit more sim racing on stream these days because I've really hit the bug, or I've really gotten the sim racing bug again ever since I got a rig, and how easy it is for me to get up and go. Before, yeah, it was kind of a pain to set up the sim racing stuff, but now with this rig I can kind of just like start racing wherever I feel like it, and that's been a really big benefit. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like I said, there will be more videos to come, so stay tuned for that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or join the Discord, and yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll catch you guys on the next one.